Hey everyone, Sebastian here and welcome to Atmoseeker, your place for creating an inspiring atmosphere for your tabletop role-playing games. Today we're going to hit the high seas with a little experiment in the game room inspired by a Let's Play that we had on the channel where we hit the high seas with constructed chaos in a one-shot adventure. We had a whole pirate ship and miniatures and everything. I'll check a link in the description or up in the cards where you can check out that if you're curious. But it got me thinking, we've got the game room here, and if you've got like a dining room or space or something that you want to just, up that saltiness a little bit more, that little high seas flavor to things. We've got some ideas, we've got a little box of goodies here filled with all kinds of little props and stuff, mostly from the dollar store. I'll try and put links in the description to a few of the things if I can find it. And so yeah, we've got some props, some lighting, some effects ideas. So let's get into it and see if we can jazz up this room a bit more for the high seas. Alright, so we put a few things together from the dollar store, some props, some little knickknacks and stuff that we've collected, some little lighting effects and stuff. So let's take a look around and show you what we've set up. One of the first things we set up is some of this rope kind of like rigging. You just get this rope from the dollar store, the craft store, just in little kind of 3-meter spools. And it's really fantastic to just kind of drape around. Kind of want to try and not have it too low that it gets in your players' faces, but it's great to kind of swing around like ship rigging and tie all kinds of things to it. Like we've got these little Hessian Sacks, also from the craft store, super cheap. Just filled it with some stuffing here, just so they're not too heavy and they can hang from this rope. Another thing that we've hung up around the room are these fishing nets. I've just attached them to the ropes or used some nylon clamps to hold them in place. You could attach them to picture frames or other hooks that you have on the walls. And these are really great because they catch that light really well. They're super cheap. There was like $20 off Amazon for 2, especially when you put some light through the back of them. I'm just using some LED floodlights up here, and they really kind of cast some really nice, interesting shadows. So this one's just a general staple for a lot of things that I have at my D&D table. You can never have enough skulls. These are fantastic to pick up at Halloween stores, at the dollar shop. Got big ones, small ones. This one, even over here, is a bowl. I'll try and find a link to this one too. This one's quite cool. You can put your dice in there, chips, snacks, that kind of thing. Keep everything on theme for some kind of Pirates of the Caribbean look. Another thing that we have hung around the room are these plastic manacles that I just managed to pick up from the Halloween store or the dollar store. And these are fantastic because you can attach them around. I've used some nylon clamps to hit them here, but also on some of them, these particular variety, they have a little kind of clasp on the end of them that you can click together. And you can use that to attach to some of this other swinging stuff like the ropes and things to kind of help create that maritime feel. So yeah, chains, very cool. Just a lot of stuff to kind of hang around, kind of have in the peripheral of the players, create that sense of immersion, really. So yep, chains, thumbs up. All right, just in front of the Dungeon Master's screen here, I've got a few extra goodies. We've got a couple of these lanterns that we were able to find from the grocery store. I thought these ones had a bit more of a seafaring feel because of the little crosshatch pattern on them. And I love the flickering like LED flame effect in there. I've got even just around the table and around the room, we've got a few of these LED candles as well. They help really kind of set that atmosphere. Also here we've got some little pieces of parchment, these rolled, double-sided printed A3 with some JPEGs of some parchment material, but you could also do the same thing with the whole tea dyeing and coffee dyeing and that kind of thing. There are some like JPEGs and stuff that you can find to kind of print on them. Some of them have some like little detailed notes on them and stuff, just to kind of make it feel a bit more like there's some stories around the table. Placed at the table or around the room, just some pirate's booty over here. We've got some thrift store finds like this incense burner and like the silver platter, super cheap at the thrift store. And literally above it, we've got some of these little plastic gold coins. They catch the light really nicely, and you can scatter them everywhere. Yeah, and then we also have some of these plastic weapons here. This sword, I quite like this one because it has that kind of cutlass design to it, and it has some of these metallic kind of painting too. You could repaint these kind of things if you like. But yeah, some super cheap kind of little props and stuff, just with the gold and stuff really playing off some of the lighting that we have around the room, which is quite nice. Over here on one of these shelves, I have a old whiskey bottle that I've converted into something a bit more kind of seafaring and maritimely feeling, just by sponging on some acrylic there, just to age the glass a bit more, and then using some hot glue and some rope around the top. Let me know in the comments if you can name what kind of whiskey it is. Down on the floor here, we've got a couple of these ripple wave lights. These have been a favorite on the channel for quite a while. Basically, I'm using them to create this caustic water effect around the room, kind of like we have a surrounding ocean or water. Pointing it up at the ceiling or from this low angle upwards creates that kind of surrounding kind of immersive effect. Now there is some extra DMX stage lighting happening in this game room, so be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss on that episode that shows how to set that up. Smoke is another great atmospheric tool for this kind of situation. I'll use it a lot here just because it creates almost like that maritime fog kind of floating around, and it's going to help give some body to some of those lighting effects that we've put around. This one, I've added a timer to it. I do like using the timer because you can set the amount of smoke that it's going to purge out and the frequency. So that means you can dial in the amount of smoke that you're going to have in the room. Not too thick that it drowns out some of the LED lighting or lighting effects that you have around here, but just enough to create that maritime fog kind of feeling. Well, I hope you found that inspiring for your own seafaring adventures and how to create some more atmosphere for your players. A huge thank you to my amazing patrons who've been supporting the channel, with a special shout out to Luke Mansberger, Chris Andrus, Charisma on Command, and Marcus Mosserman. Thanks guys, and until next time, I'm Sebastian, and let's create and inspire. Catch you then.